so bad, and why a lot of believers need to ensure that they are avoiding stealing at all costs, no matter how insignificant you think the amount is, why you shouldn't do it. Now, Exodus 22 breaks down the protection of property. It breaks down stealing and the consequences of stealing. Now, for this specifically, I'm going to be using verse 2 as well as other scriptures in the Bible to break it down so you can see the spiritual consequence when you steal. So Exodus chapter 22 verse 2, it says, if a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who kills the thief is not guilty of murder. But if it happens in daylight, the one who kills the thief is guilty of murder. This is the important piece. A thief who is caught must pay in full for everything he stole. If he cannot pay, he must be sold as a slave to pay for his theft. So when God is basically talking about slavery, being sold into slavery, he's not talking about physical slavery. He's talking about spiritual slavery. Because you need to understand the Bible is spiritual. It comes from a spiritual place and it was spiritually written. Okay? So if you're in a situation where you stole something and you did not repent for it nor try to make it right, like Zacchaeus did in Luke 19, you will then enter spiritual slavery. And spiritual slavery is demonic. So what the Bible is telling you is at that point, that is when you give legal rights to a demonic entity to come into your life and disrupt it. That demon, for those who do not know, is the spirit of poverty. It's this, some people call it the spirit of lack. And what this evil spirit actually does, it basically comes in your life and rob you of every opportunity financially, mentally, everything you're supposed to get will start to get cut short. Because again, this is another thing. The Bible also has this thing called the law of exchange. Whatever you enter into agreement with, it gets what you have and you get what it has. So when you steal, you've entered into a legal agreement with the spirit of lack, and the law of exchange takes place, which means the spirit of lack will get everything you have and you'll get what it has, which is lack. So everything will start to drain away from you. And this is the thing, no matter how insignificant you think that cheating, that person or cheating in that situation was, it's still going to hit you very, very hard. A prime example in the Bible was Esau and Jacob. Jacob cheated his brother twice, and those two acts of cheating, two single acts, cost him 20 years of his life. Notice every time Jacob was meant to get a breakthrough, being with marriage or money or any of that sort, he always falls short to that gain because Laban always cheated him. The Bible also said that Laban cheated Jacob 10 times. The number 10 means judgment. It was on the 10th day that the Israelites in the book of Joshua crossed the Jordan to go and lay judgment on Jericho. 10 plagues fell on Egypt. The 10th one was judgment. Noah, prior to the flood, was the 10th in the genealogy line. 10 means judgment. Again, Jacob cheated his brothers twice and had to pay with 20 years of his life. That is 10 years per time that he cheated him. Again, it is judgment. Notice during that period of time, God never said you can leave early. God made him leave when the judgment was finished being paid. Because God can't break his laws, because that is the laws that God gave, right? Jacob's name also means swindler. It means thief. That's why God, when he was delivered from Laban, God changed his name to Israel. You can look up the name meanings for yourself, but it means swindler. It means thief. Okay, that's why Esau said in the book of Genesis, no wonder his name is Jacob, because he cheated me, twice. Now, I say this to say because a lot of Christians are stealing and they don't realize that a lot of the things that they're doing is actually theft. Like, for example, you go to an Airbnb and they said, oh, it's not allowed to bring pets, and you're sneaking the animal in. That's deception. That's cheating the person of an agreement that they made with you. These are the little things. And this is where Satan is getting a lot of Christians, because we go around thinking that because something is so insignificant, it doesn't matter and we're not going to get in trouble for it. You will get in trouble for it. Also, if you sin, i.e. steal, and you did not know about it, you are not saved from judgment. You have to repent. Adam and Eve were deceived into eating the fruit, but even though they were deceived, they still got removed from the garden. You are liable for what you did until you repent. So just be very, very careful, because I'm being led to see that this is where Satan is going to get a lot of Christian people. Oh yeah, it's fine. This is a little thing. No, it's not about the amount. It's about the principle. This is how Achan died in the book of Joshua. He took a robe from Babylon, 200 pieces of silver and a gold brick. To a normal person, compared to the amount of treasures they took from Jericho, that seemed like nothing, but he still died simply because it wasn't about the amount. It wasn't about the quantity. It was about the act itself. Be very, very, very careful. Very careful. This is why you see people, they steal and they don't have anything. because they're fighting against the spirit of lack, and your blessing will pass and go. Just don't steal. Don't steal. Read the Bible and don't do it. No matter how small it is, be honest. Good night. I'm gonna